have that after practice today with the injury report. Afedi is still on IR, and then really that's it for that. So go ahead and open up the questions y'all may have.
The mic is not working up there.
You said the mic's not on?
They're not working.
Oh, connecting would help.
Connected it.
Wow, for real.
See ya. Good? You guys got it? Hear me better? All right. So again, I'll get started here. Sorry about that. No updates with injuries. We just got back in from our walkthrough, and I think it's good for our guys to get out there, and now we'll get put a good practice together. So go ahead and open up with questions.
The second half in Pittsburgh offensively obviously was production that was impressive and substantial. What do you sense from that half can carry forward, and what do you make of that?
Yeah, I do believe, Dan, that the momentum in those type of games are good. We came into that half, from the first half, and it wasn't as good, not scoring the points, but coming out of it, we felt more productive with moving the football, being able to kind of get going, and I thought we had more explosives. We took advantage of that. The players did a great job of executing. So we want to be able to grow from that. Again, we go into this self-scout study and we start looking, okay, where can we get better? We know the areas specifically where we need to improve. Not just third down, not just red zone, but we know specifics. So we're working through that. At the same point in time, now you have a new opponent, right, with the Ravens, who, again, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, these are physical teams. So the mentality for our team in general is to understand that this is one of those fist fight games where, again, Baltimore is a team that's played in 3 overtimes. They've won 2. You're going to have to play every snap as hard as you can. And so the mentality offensively is to know that and grow, because we do feel like we are growing. Justin's getting better. But you got to keep that going. And they're going to, every week it seems like there's a new, whether it's scheme, personnel, obviously, for everybody. And now we got to be able to adapt to all that.
To that end, you diversified the passing game against the Steelers, but the one missing element seemed to be the running backs, getting the running backs involved in the passing game. How tricky is that? Is that the next step? And can you make a concerted effort to do that, or does it just kind of happen as the offense?
You guys are tough, man. You got the tight ends, you got the wide receivers, and now you're hitting us with the running backs in the passing game. So that's what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Passing game. It's important. I'm being facetious as I say that, to you, but it is important. And I think if teams are going to try to take away shots and zone you out and do different things, the running back's an important position. We got guys that can catch the football. We got guys that can break tackles. We have smart running backs. You say all that, and so if they're going to give you that opportunity, then we want to take that. And some games you'll get more than others, and it just depends basically where that defensive coordinator's mindset is against you that day.
The screen game in particular, that's something that when other teams do it, or when teams do it, it looks like it should be easy, but it just seems like it's a timing thing, like it's a very difficult thing. Can you talk a little bit about just how difficult that is, or just how important, how it affects your offense?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into the screen game. That's not something that happens overnight. You got to practice it. You got to work it. You also have to have players that understand the timing. And then as a play caller coach, you got to call it at the right time. Usually, there's these defenses nowadays. These linebackers are so screaming fast, right? So if you're not perfect, and those offensive linemen got to react and adjust to it. If you're throwing running back screens, you got to be great with your details. You got to understand landmarks. You got to understand timing, and then you got to make the play. So, but that said, it's an offensive lineman's best friend in a lot of ways, right? Because if teams want to heat you up and do that, then they're scared to death of screens. Because if they're coming at you and you get that screen off, it can be big. So we want to be better there. We know that we can. We do practice them, but it's definitely an emphasis.
What did you like about Justin's improvement rolling left and throwing?
He's made special throws rolling left. You never know how many of those you're going to get intentionally or on purpose in a game. He's very comfortable doing it. Some guys aren't. And some guys aren't even as righties as comfortable throwing to the right. But he has a touch. He has an accuracy right now that he's shown in big-time moments to be able to do that. Again, none of it's really intentional. It's just kind of happened that way. But when you see that now, when you start looking at things, you understand that, and you feel comfortable when you are rolling to the left. And some right-hand quarterbacks to the left, they hate it.
From a quarterback coaching perspective, physically, what do you have to do what makes that so much more challenging than maybe going to the
Well, you gotta flip your hips around, you gotta get your shoulder square to your target. That's harder when you gotta flip the whole way around. That's difficult. It's not easy when you're on the run. I mean, again, throwing off the wrong foot sometimes. Sometimes when you're trying to get your hips around, your shoulders around, to throw off the wrong foot, it makes you inaccurate. He's been really accurate in that case. So he practices it. Coach Flip puts him through a bunch of drills, and you just get more and more confidence with it. Yeah, I would say so. You see a lot of these guys turning double plays, like a shortstop gets a toss from the second baseman. He's got to flip his hips and throw to the first baseman. It's kind of like that.
You guys haven't won coming out of the bye yet, and I understand they're individual instances, they're not connected. But that being said, did you do anything differently from the last game to where you're sitting right now?
The last game or each year? Anything differently for what?
What you've done during the bye the previous 3 years?
Correct. We've been a little different each bye week, whether it's a certain amount of days off for the coaches and the players. I do know from where I came from, he has a pretty good record, and I tried to follow that early on in my career here, and it did not work. So not that you have to change or anything like that, but I think some of it too is based off of where you're at as a team, and this is it's the route we went this year, and so I think the guys feel better mentally, but there's nothing specific that I'm getting to that I think, hey, we have to do it this way all 4 years.
But Matt, this is the third straight year that you guys have had a 4-game losing
Yeah.
streak. Does it feel different in this moment than it has the last couple of years?
No, it all feels the same. It's not fun. We get it, but again, and I know I brought up before that you get callous through these moments, but at the same point in time, everyone talks about adversity reveals character and all the coach talk and everything. But what this does do is it makes you really get to see when you go through these moments. You'd rather be on a lot more win streak moments, right? And so we're not right now. So the only way to start that win streak is to win. And I went through this last year. Is you got to get that first win. You fight together. Things start to go your way sometimes. You know what I mean? Like sometimes there's that one play where usually it didn't happen in the first 8 weeks, 9 weeks, and now all of a sudden it changed. And I don't know when that is or how that is. Once one of those happens, then it can be really good. We got to make it happen, and it's not going to come to us. We got to make that play happen, and then you take off with it. And again, I can tell you the one thing is that what we have done is recovered from these. So we need to recover from this, and then we need to look back at ourselves and say, okay, this is the moment it changed. Against some really good football teams, and that's what you become really proud about is that, and then you get hot at the right time. And I think you look at Justin right now and how he's improving as a quarterback in this offense. You can certainly start there. You can start there, and that gives this whole entire team confidence. I know he has a great amount of confidence, but we as coaches got to keep that going with him. And but then we got to do it in all 3 phases. It doesn't just come to you. You got to work your tail off to get to that point. And, we got guys on this team that care. We got fighters, and now we just got to go do it.
Could you have found some of those plays that you're describing in that second half against Pittsburgh, even though it was a loss? Like, could you potentially see some of those plays being built upon?
Yeah, I mean, you start seeing, well, I mean, just the easy example is when he scrambled for the touchdown throw to Mooney, right? Did not happen, didn't throw it, wasn't open, scrambles, makes a play, and all of a sudden you tie the game, kicks the extra point to go up when you've been losing the whole game, and you're saying, okay, this could be that moment where this season starts to change. And then it didn't, So those are hard to recover from, but you have to. You got no choice, right? So, okay, bye week, you got to think about it even more. Guess what? We had a bye week last year too. We lost 6 games in a row with a bye week stuck in between. So the only way to get back to it is say, okay, why is this going on? It's no one's fault other than everybody's. And now we pick the pieces up, and we get a chance to play a great football team that's really well coached at home. And what are we going to do about it?
What do you think of,
Coach is preparing for Lamar Jackson unlike any other quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, he leads them in rushing. Where does the preparation kind of start with him during the week?
It obviously starts and ends with him, Stacy. I mean, he is special. He's such a competitor. I've always watched him from afar. I've watched him grow from afar. His rookie year, how he was his rookie year, learning how to play. I mean, came out, and a lot of people didn't want to look at him at quarterback, and he proved everybody wrong. The Ravens proved everybody wrong for those that didn't believe that. And so what a great credit to him to work as hard as he has to be an NFL quarterback, and he's different. He's unique in how he plays the game. The one thing that's amazing to me is, you know, we see it with our quarterbacks the last couple of years with guys that run after a play, is a lot of the questions are, Coach, are you concerned about him getting hit too much, right? You see how many times he gets hit? I mean, he gets hit a lot, but he knows how to take hits. He's tough. He can throw the football over the field. Obviously, what they do offensively is great. I think they do a great job schematically. It's a credit to them. So he's a stressor for sure. We got to know where he's at and on every single play, because he can beat you with his legs, he can beat you with his arms, and he can beat you with his mentality.
Matt, every team has to play a Sunday to Thursday stretch at some point in the season. In what ways did having a bye week before this stretch help you?
I think it did, Adam, because we talked about it going into the bye week, that we got to get right and understand we got this quick turnaround. We're basically, I think it's 3 games in 15 days that we're playing. We had 3 games in 12 like a few years ago. So, and we went 3-0 in that stretch. So we need to understand that other one's going to creep up on us. That's not the player's job. That's them physically, but they're worried about Baltimore. We as coaches got to make sure on a short week that we prep the right way, and then we were able to get to Detroit. But it would be a great way to go into that Thanksgiving Day game with some momentum and a win. And so on the front end, it's just, you know, only worrying about Baltimore, getting healthy mentally, and having a great week of practice.
Back to Lamar for a second. You've talked a lot about quarterbacks should be throwers first and runners second. Has he accomplished that?
Yeah.
Has he become that type of pocket passer?
He has, but I mean, you see the scheme that they use and all the zone reads, the counter reads, the gaps, the misdirection. That's difficult. But at the same point in time, what I think I've seen, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but what I've seen over the years is somebody that's really grown a lot as a passer. You know, on third down, the trust that they have in him and making his progression reads, the vertical passing game that he has, his eyes downfield with a scramble. Okay, it's not there, I'm going to take off. He's without a doubt an unbelievable NFL quarterback that can do great things with his legs, which is just a stressor.
You were around Vic,
Yeah.
or Michael Vick.
Mm-hmm.
In what ways is he similar to Lamar, and in what ways is Lamar kind of the next generation of that sort of?
I do think they're similar in their athleticism and what they can do with. I mean, when you're just as fast or faster than every player on that field, that's what Michael had, Vic. And so, like, there was times where teams would zero blitz, and we were praying that they'd zero us, because if he broke one, he's gone for 80. Well, that's the same thing with Lamar. So, you know, you got to be able to understand where he's at. Probably the biggest difference that I see is, and Michael will admit this to you, we told you about the slip and slides we used to do that. He didn't know how to slide. That was the big difference. So we would always stress that he was going to take a funky hit. But very, you know, similar quarterbacks in the fact that Michael Vick was an unbelievable NFL quarterback, not runner.
The taunting calls have been an issue league-wide all year. What is your understanding of the intent of why they're emphasizing it this year and what they're trying to get done by putting a focus on that?
Probably the biggest thing, Dan, is that in taunting in general right now, it's an exciting game. It's a game that's very emotional, but there are times that some people are egregious with celebrating, and it can be over the top. And I think probably the biggest message is let's calm this down a little bit, because, you know, people watch and people want to see, you know, a little bit of respect and a little bit of doing things the right way. It doesn't mean you can't have fun, right? But there's young kids out there right now that are watching games, and what happens is you go to one of these sporting events and you might see some imitation going on that's taking it over the top. You know, I'm a firm believer in respect and just kids growing and watching, and we have a huge platform as leaders, talking players and coaches. So let's understand what the rules are. Let's do it the right way. Let's still have fun. These guys are still having fun and not taunting. You can still have a great time, but let's stay within the rules when we do it. So that's probably why.
You have a different vantage point as an NFL coach and as a father of.
Yes. I understand it, but at the same point in time, my kids know too, like, They watch. I mean, go back to Odell Beckham, right? He made that one-hand snag. What did every kid, youthful kid in youth football program try to do? Every time they're out of practice doing the passing drills, they're trying to catch it with one hand. That's the last thing that coaches tell you to do is use two hands to catch the ball. Odell's out here making spectacular catches. He's all over the media because it's unbelievable. And every kid is out here trying to catch the ball one-handed, including my four, right? And so you got to tell them, listen, man, that's awesome. But, well, it's the same thing in this regards. I think that it's our job to do it the right way. And every one of these levels that you talk about in this game right now with the taunting rule has its levels to it. And if there's gray, you got to understand the rule. And now I need to do my job to teach that to the players so that they understand it and understand these are rules, guys. We can't change that. So know how we roll with that, you know.
Parse how 11 guys can run to an end zone and pretend to row a boat or
Yeah.
And that's cool. But if you turn toward another bench, that is not. It seems confusing.
Again, that's the NFL's rules, and they have their reasons for it. And again, I'm for having fun but doing it the right way. Thanks.
That fight's not gonna happen.
What's up, how you doing?
Feel like you got the necessary recharge out of the bye week that you wanted?
Yeah, for sure. I got to rest my body a little bit, so I feel good.
What did you get done? I know you're down in Florida. What did you get done at House of Athletes during the time you were there?
I just worked out. Got a workout in.
Justin, it seems like especially in the second half of the Pittsburgh game, the offense as a whole, it seems like that when it's under pressure, when you're in a hurry-up offense, so to speak, that you guys are able to produce at a faster clip. There's less penalties. There's things like that. Do you feel that? Do you sense that you guys are taking a step in this hurry-up, game coming down to the wire kind of offense?
Yeah, I mean, I think, when we switch to the tempo, it definitely, could get our offense in a rhythm. So it's really just, game dependent on how the offense feeling and how we're getting in and out of the huddle just on a regular basis. So sometimes we might do that just to, get the play calls in faster. So, yeah.
We've talked to you this year about rolling left and throwing. What sort of work do you put in practice to get comfortable doing that? Because Matt was just talking, not every quarterback's either good at it or comfortable trying.
Yeah, just doing it. Practice, same thing. Just practicing it, so.
What are the coaching points when you're doing it? Are they telling you, all right, turn your hips here or open your shoulder up?
Just getting your, shoulders turned and you're able to deliver the ball. I mean, because you're fighting against the direction you're throwing, so you just have to keep the elbow in and, keep those shoulders, and so you can deliver accurate ball.
Justin, when you look at the body of work, because the bye week sort of forces you to do that, given your starts, what are you happy with about your improvements, and where are you kind of like, oh, I can still tap into this?
I mean, I can still tap in a lot of things, but I'm just happy that, I'm improving, and my goal is just to continue to do that each and every week, each and every day I practice, and in the games, of course.
Where is the offense as a group improved in your eyes?
I think up front we improved a lot. Run game we've, been solid from pretty much the start, so, yeah, just pass pro and, just kind of getting on the same page as the receivers and stuff, too.
Am I right to assume this is the first 4-game losing streak that you've really been a part of?
You are, correct.
How does that sit with you during the bye week, knowing that you said, you have seen your own improvement, but the results aren't there?
I mean, to be honest, I'm not just, on the bye week thinking, dang, we were on a 4-game losing streak. I'm, of course, learning from those mistakes from the games and, moving on to the next week. You can't dwell over the four losses you have. You just got to keep moving and keep pushing forward, so.
You and Cole Kmet talked a bit about you feel like this offense is close to, really putting it all together. Do you still feel that when you come back?
I mean, yeah, we're building every day, and just like I said before, we're improving every game. So that's just the offense's main goal as a whole right now is just to keep improving and keep getting better.
To what?
Said that your throw to Jimmy Graham in the Pittsburgh game, the 28-yard pass was elite, a top 3 pass in the NFL this year. What do you think of that acclaim, and do you agree that is that who you are?
I mean, yeah, that's who I am. I haven't seen all the other passes in the NFL this year, so I mean, I don't know where it ranks, but it was a pretty good throw, and of course, a great catch by Jimmy.
To what extent have you studied Lamar Jackson, and is there anything that you, as a running quarterback, can learn by watching what he does and how he's evolved as from a runner to even, I guess, maybe even more of a passer now?
Yeah, last year when I was in college, I would turn on his highlights and just kind of studied how he kind of ran the read option, how his feet were, and how he kind of got like a running start. So like when he runs the read option, he kind of staggers his feet just so he can like be already in a, I guess, running position to run the ball after he's reading the defensive end. So last year I kind of just watched how he kind of operated that.
Justin, about Lamar Jackson, I was reading an article about him where the writer asserted that his success as their franchise quarterback would be encouraging not only to young black quarterbacks, but also to quarterbacks who want to play a non-traditional style and to use their speed and use their running. What, if any, impact has his success had on you in those ways?
I mean, to be honest with you, there's not many guys who are like Lamar Jackson. I mean, you should just call it what it is. I mean, he does stuff that, some receivers, running backs can't even do. So I don't think you can compare it to that. But I mean, just all the, backlash he got coming out of college saying he was a running back and stuff like that. He's just proven, everybody wrong. And of course, he's one of the best in the league right now. So, just that, seeing that, young black quarterbacks can get the job done, and we don't have to be the old-fashioned pro-style passer to get it done. But it just shows up. It just shows that it's kind of a new wave coming in, and that athletic guys can play quarterback also.
Justin, Lamar, I think Matt said that he takes a lot of hits, but he knows how to take them. What have you learned through 8 games about sliding, getting out of the way of traffic when you're trying to make a run and just protecting your body when you're getting loose?
I saw it last game when I got boomed by Minka, and then next time we met, I slid. So, I pick and choose my battles, and that battle I lost. So next time I just slid and got down. But yeah, I mean, it's important to, of course, take care of your body and not take as many hits.
In the heat of the moment, that's got to be a hard decision to make, right? When you see the extra.
I mean, not really. I mean, I feel like during the week, I pick and choose like who I might try if I see him one-on-one, especially in that situation. It's third down, I got about 2-3 yards. If I hit him, I could fall forward and get the first down. So you just got to pick and choose them in the times of the game. So and I chose that one, and I just lost that one. So yeah.
Your connection with Darnell has been there, and it's been improving as you go. What do you like about him as a receiver, and what's allowed that to click between the two of you?
Yeah, I just like his work ethic. He's always willing to work, always willing to meet late, meet after meetings, and get on Zoom and stuff like that. So, early in the year, I was telling y'all how we would just stay and throw after practice. So just the connection that we have, and just the amount of work he puts in, and how great he wants to be. It's just inspiring, really, to me. When I FaceTime and he's watching film, it's just like, dang, maybe I should be watching more film. Like, he's watching film. So, yeah, he's a great player and a great teammate, of course.
On the touchdown pass to him in Pittsburgh, obviously that's, he's sitting down on the hitch, and then you're breaking. When did you know that was open for you?
Right when he broke and the defender had his back turned, I mean, that's pretty much routes on air. The DB can't see the ball, so I just put the ball in a good place, and, hopefully he came down and came down with it, and he did that. So, great play.
Based off last game, do you feel like you're starting to click with Allen a little bit more too?
With Allen? I mean, yeah, of course. I think, we always click, but, last game he was isolated one-on-one. So, a lot of the time that doesn't happen. So, of course, when that does happen, of course, we want to get him the ball as much as possible. So, when those opportunities present itself, of course, we're going to try to get the ball to a one-on-one matchup. And we always preach, winning those one-on-one matchups and stuff like that. So, of course,
more anxious than usual to get back into a game against Baltimore this week because of what you did against Pittsburgh?
No, not really. I feel like I'm the same mindset, another week, ready to go play Sunday, so nothing crazy.
Did you hang out with Brandon Marshall when you were in Florida?
I met him down there at the facility.
Did you work out with him?
Nah, not really. I just talked to him a little bit, and then I think he had to go somewhere, so I just met him and talked to him for a little bit. I don't think he said much about Chicago, to be honest with you, so, yeah.
Justin, you came in with Tevin Jenkins. You guys are the first 2 picks this year. What's it been like getting him back this week, and what did he show you in the way he was fighting back and dealing with the back surgery and all that?
Yeah, I know it's probably a tough time for him, going through all of that and stuff. But I'm just happy he's back now, and it's actually exciting to see him, in pads and stuff like that, because we're so used to seeing him on the sidelines, like out and not doing anything. So when he was on the field last week, I was kind of, or I think it was Monday or something like that. I was playing around with him, and just saying, like asking him a question, "Are you new?" and stuff like that. So, but no, it's definitely great, having him back for sure.
Work ethic that you were talking about with Darnell, how does that show up on game day? How does it help him in games? How do you see that?
I mean, yeah, just, I think he just knows what I'm thinking in certain situations, and it just, puts us kind of on the same page when, certain coverages pop up or we have a certain play up and stuff like that. So he knows what I'm thinking and, where I want him to run a certain route. So it just kind of gets us more on the same page. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Justin.
appreciate my snark.
Larry, you want your seat back?
Oh, no. Questions?
What stands out about trying to defend Lamar Jackson for 4 quarters?
I think the hardest thing when you obviously when it jumps out on tape, man, he's naturally probably the best athlete on the field. Any given time when, especially with the ball in his hands, I think that his athleticism jumps out. That scares a lot of teams. Obviously, can make every throw, but at the same time can bust a 90-yard run or you make your whole defense look silly. So with him, that's just one of the things that just jumps out on tape, man. It's just his athleticism. Obviously, we all know about it, but when you watch it and you get to break him down and play against him, I've played against him before. You're witnessing just a premier athlete at the quarterback position that we've never seen before.
How does that change how you approach him in the open field? Like, you come up with him one-on-one tackle.
Yeah.
Does it change? Like, you want to shoot straight through him? You want to break down, slow down? Like, how does that change versus him, like another ball carrier?
Yeah, against a guy like that, man, it's tough because, he is probably one of the more shiftier guys with the ball in his hands. He's probably one of the more faster guys with the ball in his hands. So it's really no right or wrong way to do it, man. Sometimes when you're feeling that itch, man, you go shoot your shot. Sometimes, man, you got to wait for the herd to come in and kind of be a little more patient, let him make his moves, and then try to be able to go try to tackle that. But either way, it's no right or wrong answer. You can kind of settle up and wait, and then he'll run by you. You could go take your shot. He can make you miss. So there's no right or wrong way of approaching him, and it's just like the best thing you do is swarm. Numbers, when you got guys like that with the ball in his hand, numbers is important. So, if you can swarm the ball, man, you got a good chance. You look at Miami. Miami was all over him. They was draped over him, man. They swarmed him, and that's why he was able to have success. So, obviously, I think that they put something out there. Not every team probably want to try that. They ran a lot of zeroing. But, it worked. So, obviously, when things work against certain teams, you pick it, you choose, you try to implement it and see if it worked for you.
So what do you have to do if you send some zero at them to make sure that it doesn't become a risk reward that you don't want to be?
Right. I think that you got to be tight in coverage. I think that a lot of people can try to send a blitz to him and limit his mobility from the waist down. But like I say, man, he's progressed as a quarterback. He can make those throws. He's dropping his deep balls, man, is looking better than ever. He's dropping them right in the dime, and he's got guys that's able to go out there and get it. So obviously, you got to be able to be tight on coverage. You can't just say I'm gonna send a house man and make him beat us with his arm because he's at that phase in his career right now where he's making those throws that he can beat you with his arm. So obviously, it's rush and cover go together. Everybody just got to do their job, man. We don't need Superman out there, man. We need everybody playing their role, being who they are in this defense, and I think we'll have success.
You said you faced him before. What have you learned from facing Lamar Jackson?
He probably gonna make the first guy miss, man. I think that playing him, you realize, man, the speed that you see on film and the speed on game, man. He's even faster in game like situations. The speed is there on film, but when you see him live in person, man, dude can run. So I think that personally for me playing against him, I played him early in his career when he was his legs was probably more dangerous than his arm. But now it's even more dangerous because when he's scrambling, he's not scrambling and take off running. He's scrambling, looking to throw the ball downfield. And that's the component in his game that he's taking the next step, man. That's why they're a dangerous team right now.
Even being a veteran like yourself,
Yep.
do defensive guys, when they get set to play Lamar Jackson, do they think about getting embarrassed?
No. Like when you think about, no, I think that I think that we have enough guys over here. You don't want to. If a guy like that make you miss, it's Lamar Jackson, right? So it's not like the end of the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like if Peyton Manning juked you, Tom Brady. It's different. You could take that, man. He probably could be one of the best running backs in the NFL, man, if you put a 2 in front of his 8. So obviously, no, it's not that bad. Obviously, you don't want to get embarrassed, period, whether you're playing a Derrick Henry's or you're playing a Lamar Jackson. So it's just that level of component that when he is in overfield, you know that he's dangerous, and you don't treat him like a quarterback. You treat him like an athlete, and obviously he can make you miss. You can't take that too hard, man. You're gonna be one of 70 people in the season that you're gonna make miss. So you take your shot. You're not gonna win every one of them, man. You come back the next time, make sure you get them on the ground.
You guys had interceptions on 3 consecutive possessions against the Bengals.
Yeah.
You've only had one since.
Terrible.
What does that make you feel like when you hear that?
It's tough. I think that's one of the things since I've been here. It's tough getting those takeaways. The season started off the way that we wanted, as far as just like we was being able to get takeaways, whether it's strip sacks, whether it was interceptions, just takeaways, period, man. And that's kind of fizzled down. Obviously we have some injuries. We've been having some injuries and things like that. It's never an excuse because obviously everybody on this team is capable of playing. But that's the tough part about it because we have ball-aware guys. We have guys who can make those plays, man, and those plays is just not coming. We're not taking advantage of the gimmies that we sometimes get. We're not taking advantage of the opportunities that come our way, myself included. So that's the toughest part about it because when you're a defense like this, man, you pride yourself on getting the ball, man, and we had the head full of steam. In the beginning of the season, it just fizzled out, man, and, it's better late than never, man, to catch that groove. Obviously, we had these same talks last year, man, when we was going through a slump where we just wasn't getting turnovers. And, we start getting them when we need it. So at this point, we feel like, what better week to turn it around, man, and kind of get back on our groove than this week against Baltimore. It'd be a huge boost for us.
I think it's true that some teams have the personnel to do what Miami did to Baltimore, and some teams do not. Without giving away secrets, how well equipped do you think this defense is comparable to the Dolphins to attack Lamar Jackson the way they did?
Man, if I tell you that, I'm going to give you away secrets. So.
But in general.
I can't. No, I think that we had the personnel to. I think a lot of teams in the National Football League, man, when you watch their game planning was simple. I think that if you look at our scheme compared to their scheme, it's totally different. But I mean, when you line up and being able to go affect the passer with rushers, we can do that. And if you line up and say, hey, you got to cover those the skill guys, we have the guys who can cover their skill guys. Obviously, they got good players over there. In 5 and 89, those are the go-to guys, obviously. So you have your hands full with those guys, but we have guys who we feel like we can match up with those guys and let the guys hunt. So if it needs to be that type of game, I don't think that Coach Deshaun would have any problems doing that. But, obviously every team is different. That worked for Miami. It don't mean it might work for Chicago. What we do might not work for Miami. So it's just about what you can take into the game that could be effective and go from there.
Just having Roquan on the field seems to be similarity, I guess, or the one most effective thing, just having Roquan in your defense, right? I mean, a guy like him. Yeah,
having Roquan in any defense, man, is going to be super effective, obviously, whether you run in cover 2, cover 4, cover 0, cover 1. When you got a guy like that, it's always so much things you can do with it, man. So, obviously, it's a blessing to have him. And however the defensive game plan shake out, obviously everybody just got to execute their game plan. It's not rocket science. It's you do your job, man, and make the plays when they come. You might only have one play this game, or you might have 8. So, obviously it's about winning your matchups, man, and going from there.
Deshaun, does the Steelers' final drive still bother you?
That's a tough one. That's obviously a tough one, man. You can't ask for. I say this, man. You can't ask for a better opportunity like that. Offense have been doing what they needed to do these past 2 weeks. Specifically, that drive itself, man, was one of the more exciting drives I've been a part of, man. And to go out there and give it back to them, it was tough. And obviously, it wasn't nothing that Pittsburgh did, and it's no shade to those guys. It was solely based on, us on the defensive end. We played a good defensive game for 3.5 quarters. But, this is a 60-minute game. You can be winning for 59 minutes, and that 1 minute can be the difference. And obviously, 2 plays, in that last drive, simple mistakes that probably won't never happen again. It happened, and when it happened at the worst time, and they was able to capitalize on it, and they was able to get a field goal win. That's tough, though. That win would have been huge for us, but obviously, move on. Obviously, we got a good matchup in Baltimore this week, so we can't dwell on it. I thought about it long enough over the bye week, man. It's about Baltimore now.
We talked to you in August about Justin, and you said, when the lights come on, you just know
Yep.
there's something in it. Now that he's deeper into his career starter, what is leaving an impression on you about his presence and just the way it affects the group?
Right. I've been around rookie quarterbacks that had to play. I've been around first-year starters, man. He just cool. He's just like, I think that he's even keeled, man. He don't never sweat. I've seen him take some vicious hits. He do a little acting once he don't get his call. Then, he get up, he shake it off, man. He a tough dude, man. Obviously, physically he can take the type of the punishments that some of the hits that he's been taking. Man, he's a big guy, but at the same time, just how cool his demeanor is. He's never waver. He'll throw a pick and he has the same demeanor as when he throw a touchdown. And that's the type of things that you want in your leader. A guy who's just like he is himself, man. And he's never wavered when things are looking bad, when the offense is struggling. You don't see a look of defeat on his face, and when things are going good, it's not just it's not overexcitement. God don't show emotions sometimes, man. Maybe I'm not around him enough, but at the end of the day, he's there when it matters, man. And he's making the plays, and he's taking those huge jumps that this team need him to do, man. And you can't ask for him to do more than he's been doing the last couple of weeks, and it's like he's catching his stride.
What about that drive in Pittsburgh, it sounds like that left an impression on you and energized you anyway. What
Oh yeah, I think that energized everybody. Seeing a drive like that, obviously that's huge. That's huge for him. That's huge for his momentum. That's huge for the team. When you can have a quarterback that man, long as we give him enough time, long as we give him the ball back, we know that good things gonna happen. And that was just one of those things where I just felt confident that whole drive that one gonna make a play. That somebody on offense gonna make a play, and they did just that. So like I say, that's just a testament to the growth that he's making from weeks 3 to now, and you can't be more happy about that, man. He's trending up in the right direction, and it's in a perfect timing for us to catch this stride, and we got some tough games ahead of us, man, but I wouldn't want him to catch this stride any other time than right now. So he's doing what he got to do, man, to put us in position to win football games. We just got to play complementary, complete football right now, and that's it.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.
you doing? Good. It was great. Had a good one. Yeah, for the most part, stayed here and hung around here. Took my wife out to dinner and stuff, and just kind of hung around with the kids and stuff. So it was good. It was a good weekend. Good bye week. Get away, relax your mind, and help your body a little bit too. So.
Physically, you feel like you're on the track back to play this week?
Yeah, hopefully that's the goal right now. Definitely gotten better, day by day, and it's just coming in, doing your rehab, and making sure you're able to move and do the things you need to do to be out there to play. So right now I feel pretty good in the direction that I'm headed. Hopefully everything works out this week. So.
In the summer, you were making pretty much daily deposits into the takeaway bucket back in training camp.
Yeah.
As a defense, they haven't been coming lately as a whole. What do you guys sense you need to do here in this next stretch to get that thing back?
We just got to get more attempts on, taking the ball away and capitalizing on some of the opportunities that we have to make those takeaways and turn the ball over and give our offense back the ball. So it's kind of a combination of a couple of different things, sometimes we drop some that we should have had. And, I know personally I dropped a couple, here and, could have possibly made a better tackle on somebody and actually went at the ball and, try to get an attempt on the strip or something like that. So it's kind of things like that when you have guys that swarm to the ball like we do, it's those kind of, you tend to get those things when, you're playing fast and, like I said, everybody's running to the ball and, you're making attempts at, trying to get the ball out, so.
With this offense, the Baltimore Ravens offense,
Yep.
doing so many different things. They got jet motion, they got read option, they hit the quarterback out of the backfield. Where are your eyes? Where are you trying to get your eyes, and what are the challenges of keeping them there with all of that activity going on?
It's on your job, I guess. The main objective is the ball, so I try to keep my eyes on that ball as much as I can. They, like I said, they have a good scheme and they execute their plays well, and they give a defense a tough time to defend them. Like I said, obviously they got Lamar and the running backs and just throwing the ball outside, throwing it deep, so they kind of keep you on your toes a lot the whole game. And for us, it's just you have to execute your game plan. And, everybody has a game plan going into it. And, if we can not make the mistakes, not make as many mistakes as them, I think we'll be all right. So.
Are you able to look at some of what the Dolphins did against Lamar and the Ravens as kind of a blueprint to containing him, or is it you just not factor that in as much?
Obviously you look at the film and you see what the Dolphins did. I'm not exactly sure what the plays they called or whatever, but, obviously they put a lot of pressure on them and, made them get rid of the ball and whatever. And, I think that's kind of with any quarterback, they like to be clean, so be able to keep pressure on the quarterback, it doesn't matter if you're Lamar, you're Tom Brady, whoever it is, they tend to don't like that too much. So, for us, like I said, it's just about us executing our game plan and what we have, going forward, and our players, knowing exactly what they need to do and doing that. So.
With the Steelers' final drive, you guys have a lot of veterans on your defensive side that take a lot of pride in what you do.
Yeah.
I imagine the way the game ended didn't sit well with you guys. And how is that? Can that be used for anything other than just being frustrated? Can that be motivational at all?
Well, obviously, when you're on the losing side of the deal of that game, it doesn't feel good for anybody, offense, just the team as a whole. So, when you lose, you most definitely feel like you didn't do enough, to win that game. But I thought we had some good players out there, and everybody kept fighting to the end. That game could have went south a while ago, early in the game. And, I thought everybody, kept controlling themselves for the most part. And, we was able to give ourselves a chance to win that game. So, we take what we did well in that game and try to do it better, the next game. And the things that we didn't do well, we had a little time in between to fix it and correct it. And, with an opportunity this week to go out there and execute those, things that we didn't do well, the week prior. So.
We've asked you about the taunting rule a couple of times this year.
Yeah.
Given what happened at the end of the game, the last time out. Do you have any sense for what's legal, what's not?
I mean, to me, that rule is just kind of depending on who the ref is that week, where they call it or don't call it. Obviously, they have some, videos and stuff that they show where, like, guys are actually talking to somebody's face and running up to trying to showboat and all that stuff like that. So, for us, it's better to just celebrate with your teammates. I would say that, and, hopefully avoid those type of situations where not getting those ton penalties. So, like I said, coach hit on it and everybody's hit on it. Like I said, I don't think there's a defined rule of like this is exactly what it looks like, but I do think we can help ourselves by just celebrating with us, just celebrate with your teammates and whoever else is on the sideline with you. So, I think if we do that, that'll kind of we won't really have to worry about that rule too much.
Instructional videos in the preseason, with that specific emphasis, did you understand what they're trying to get done?
I understand, that you don't want guys trying to show up. Man, like you made a play, you made a good play, that's great. You should be able to celebrate. I think you should. I mean, I think, we do this for a reason to, have those moments like that. But at the same time, you have to understand that, they made the rules are the rules. And, you have to find a way to, adjust and adapt to it. And, I think, like I said, for us, it's just more so trying to celebrate, find ways to celebrate with your teammate. And I think that'll kind of, clean up everything. They won't really have too much to say about that, I feel like. So.
What was your reaction in the moment when Cassius got called?
All right, that's what we're about to do now as far as the defense, how we going to, go back out there and get another stop. Because once they throw the flag, they're not going to pick it up pretty much, whether they felt like it was right or wrong. You have to be able to flush it just like the play before, whether you made a good play or a bad play. You got to be able to, let it go and move on to the next play. So, that was kind of my thing. Obviously, I didn't like the call at first, but at the same time, we still had the game that we still had to play and finish and try to win. So, for me, I was just focused on the next play, like, all right, what personnel we need out there, how the guys going to respond into, the next play. So.
Obviously, that play blew up on TV, social media, everything. Going back and seeing it after the game, I don't know whether you did, but if you did that make you feel a certain way about the call?
No, I mean, like I said, I don't think that caused us to lose a game or something like that. There's a number of things that happened throughout the game to where, we could have been better, could have maybe had a touchdown or something, or a turnover or something else that could have affected the game. Obviously, you playing Monday, you're the only game on TV, so everything's magnified at that point. But, it happens throughout the league, and, like I said, as players, you try to, adjust and do what you can to, not get those penalties and stuff. And like I said, we all understand what it is and just kind of what we need to do. Like I said, the best thing for us is just to, try to celebrate with our teammates and stuff, and try to leave it at that. Like I said, they're gonna call whatever they're gonna call. Like I said, and I think it just depends on the ref that week. So.
You mentioned it being like
You guys don't have the turnover bucket anymore.
We do have it. We do have it. It just hasn't been used much lately. It hasn't been used. We still got it. It just hasn't been used much lately. That's all.
You mentioned how much more magnified it is when it's the only game on TV, right? No game more so than the Super Bowl. Do you think the whole taunting thing is a bit of an overreaction to Antoine Whitfield Jr. doing Tyreek's peace sign in his face?
That I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think they have a committee that meets on these rules and stuff, and obviously everybody agreed on it, or I ain't gonna say everybody agreed on it, but the majority of them agreed that this is a rule that they needed to implement. But I don't know. I can't say one way or the other about that one. So.
Obviously, losing heightens, makes these things sting a little bit more. But do you feel like you're getting to a point where the defense will be able to complement what the offense has been able to do? Because obviously, the offense has taken some strides the last couple of games.
Yeah, I think this team as a whole has taken, some strides, in the last few games. Obviously, we haven't, came out the way that we wanted to, obviously winning those games and stuff. But I do think we've, kind of developed some things that we know we can do well, and hopefully we can continue to do that and just get better, every day. So, you take it one day at a time, and like I said, this is a new week for us and a good opportunity for us to face a top team that was in the playoffs and stuff. So, it'll be a good challenge for us this week, and, we looking forward to it.
What's the challenge up front for the defense against Lamar Jackson? Because the secondary has their own set of challenges to worry about with a quarterback like that. You treat him like a quarterback, but he doesn't move sometimes like a quarterback. He's not athletic. He's more athletic than most people out there on the field. What is the challenge up front for you guys against Lamar?
Well, I mean, I think he is a quarterback. I mean, he makes the throws just like any other quarterback, and obviously he has, better speed than some of the other quarterbacks and can use his legs and stuff. But, I mean, he can throw the ball just as well as, some other people. So, I kind of like him. My son loves him. So like I said, I think he does well. For us as a defense, the guys up front, it's going to take everybody swarming to the ball. And like I said, kind of one of those things is making sure you're trying to keep your eye on the ball because they do a lot of different things. And, the most important thing out there is the ball. So whether he got it or the running backs got it or somebody else got it, you have to be able to swarm to the ball and try to limit a bunch of missed tackles and, yak yardage and just kind of all that stuff like that and create those turnovers and stuff. So
Who's your son rooting for this week?
he better be rooting for us. But, I mean, I understand he likes players, and, that's one of his guys that he likes to, and he's like, that's number 8 right there, that's the one. So, it's fun, I laugh at it and enjoy it, and, it'll be a fun time, so.
How old's your son?
5. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.